With a love for fashion and textile, Asha graduated in apparel design from NIFT. She's worked with some of the most leading brands in the country, working on designing, sourcing, merchandising, the whole shebang. But she says life really changed for her when she began working in product development with an organization based out of Calcutta that worked with women who had been trafficked. She says working directly with the women who were involved in the fresh trade is where she really found her true calling. To use her design skills in a meaningful way to create a difference for the women around her. Today, as Chief Creative Officer of People Kraft, she continues to design and develop products for change. She truly believes that by impacting design, you can design impact. Hi, Asha. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Bare Thoughts.
Hi, Fair. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Just for all of the benefit of our listeners, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, my name's Asha. I'm based out of Bangalore and I run a small business called People Kraft. And we basically work with women from very different backgrounds. And I have training in fashion design from NIFT Calcutta. So, yeah, long story short.
Nice. And Asha, where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Calcutta. So, I was there for pretty much all of the time until I got married and moved to Bangalore. So it's been like two different cities for me for the most bit. I've done a little bit of work here and there in different parts of the country, but yeah, mostly a Calcutta girl.
Cool. Great. Awesome. So you've been involved with People Craft and it's over 20 years old. Can you tell us a little bit more about what People Craft is, what you do, and how you perhaps do things?
Right. Yeah, sure. So PeopleCraft was basically, it was a project started as a proof of concept of sorts by our charity, which is called Provision India. So we started our work through our charity, and the idea was to teach communities to be self-sustaining, through income-generating projects. So People Craft started in the early 90s, and it really just started as a small training facility, and eventually it became a production house. So we didn't start with textile or any of that stuff that you see now online. We started with paper mache, wood, and other handicraft. But we've been working with textile because I have a background in apparel, so that's really what I'm good with. And that's it's almost like over the years, Peoplecraft has um, like metamorphosed into a model that other charities can follow so that they can be sustained, like a business that supports the charity,
Mhm.
if you know what I'm saying. So that sort of a thing. Yeah.
So it's really interesting how People Craft has kind of evolved over the years from a paper mache kind of enterprise to now kind of a really
Yeah.
decentralized approach right now. And I think, in this COVID time, we're all kind of thinking about work from home models. But I think
Yeah.
in a lot of
Yeah.
ways, something that you all have been doing for a really long time. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about very decentralized, awesome, empowering model of how you work with, entrepreneurs on the ground?
So basically, I mean, we've always already, we've always had a work from home model, and it actually started by accident in the beginning. This was around 2017, beginning of 2017. So we
Hmm.
were actually looking for a factory space so we could, kind of run our productions and stuff like that. But that didn't work out for us a little bit. And then we talked about it. By we, I mean my husband and I. We run PeopleCraft together. So we talked about it and we were like, you know what, to run and sustain a more like a leaner model that works over time, we should probably just start with small and start with a work from home model. So what we did is we just started with um, two women and we supplied them with sewing machines and a starter kit of sorts and basic training in sewing. So I would literally go and visit them in their homes where they live and spend a couple of hours with them. They were already in other jobs then, so this would be like a post, sort of a shift thing for them, just so that they can earn that extra money,
Yeah.
because they were from families that really were struggling to make ends meet. So we've kind of just sustained that model all of this time, and now it's funny because it's really no different for the women. From it's really another work day for them. There's not much different happening. This work is still going on, and it's great. I mean, they're super efficient because they actually are from just really broken families, and I think the fact that they're at home and they have that time, just that added time to kind of look after their families and stuff, their efficiency is like fantastic. So it's really win-win, you know. They love their job, they're happy, they're healthy, they get more sleep, and we get our work done. So it's been good so far.
That's really great that you're working with women in their comforts of their own home and also
Yes,
providing an additional source of revenue. That's amazing. I think you've
right,
thrown this word sustainability around a couple of times. What does sustainability mean
right.
to you, Asha?
Well, I mean, sustainability to me is all about balance, really. It's about using available resources in the wisest way possible so that it becomes a lifestyle more than a fad or a trend, as it is with a lot of organizations. So we really didn't want to jump on that bandwagon. It's really been a process for us, something that's evolved and that's happened to us over many years. And it's been, for me personally, it's a shift in thinking. So it's like, sustainability is something that has to happen on all levels, economic, environmental, and even just your personal space. So once you see it through those eyes, it kind of becomes easy to implement that when you run an organization. So that's kind of what we've been doing with our sourcing and even our entire line of products. We've applied sustainability at all levels possible. You know, we don't buy fresh fabric like off the roll for our textile products. We literally just go and source cut pieces and stuff like that. Like it's really been a very hands-on approach. I think you need to live it so that people kind of watch and learn. It's not something that just talk about and just leave it at that.
That's so true. I think sustainability is truly in like the DNA of People Craft and all that you do. I think I
It
want to
really
touch more upon this topic. The how you incorporate circularity in your design process. Clearly you come from a very
right.
rich design background, and you're working with really diverse women or entrepreneurs
Yes.
to make these amazing high quality products. And especially your sourcing, I think your sourcing story is really special. If you can just shed light a little bit about how you kind of incorporate circularity in design, and also can you tell us more about how you source all of the cloth scraps?
Yeah, sure thing. So I think I don't know if this is really a result of me being a design student or something. I've never ever really thrown anything away, especially if it's textile. I am in love with different textures, different textiles. They fascinate me, and I'm always looking for ways to kind of reuse them, reuse the scraps and things like that. So maybe that's where this comes from. But either way, nothing is really wasted in our production process. So what we do is we just go to the wholesale markets and our sourcing as well. It's very relationship based. So I literally go and go to each store. I talk to the people that we've kind of built these relationships with over the years. I tell them our story, and they know what we're doing. So they're not under any impression that we're running this boutique or something of that sort. They really know the impact that People Craft is having. So what they do is before I go, I just call them and they keep these stacks of leftover fabric. Like every roll of fabric will have, every ream will have like a little bit of extra fabric, right? That just doesn't get sold. So it's fresh fabric, but it's something that would just go straight to a landfill and it's of no use to them. So they keep all of that ready. I give them a call and then I literally just go there and I spend like half a day there sorting and sifting through the whole pile myself and picking up only what I need. Bring it back home, and then we kind of start the design process from there. I make patterns, and then we do the cutting and sewing and stuff. So it's really using 100% scrap, like scrap alone. So it's there's a saying in Kanda here. It says it goes like "kasa tagon rasa madu," which basically means like um, making rasam out of garbage. So
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
It's really it's something that we've enjoyed doing also, and I also think personally it challenges me very creatively because it doesn't put me in a box. It kind of allows me to think a little bit more freely because I have that many different options and it's fun. I mean, it's fun for me. So
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing so far. So
That's
it's
super.
been, yeah,
That's really, really impressive how you source all completely,
yeah,
recycled, upcycled cloth scraps to create something completely new and give it a new life. That's just so admirable. Like, honestly, that was the first thing that really caught my attention. And I think I saw the products before
yeah,
I met you and Steve. So
yeah,
it's been kind of really interesting to kind of get to know the human behind, all of these
yeah.
beautiful
It's
bags and
it's
stuff.
a. I mean, there are definitely more steps to the process of production when you source like this, and there's, there are things like, for example, you can't always guarantee the exact same print to another person, say a year later, because you might not find it. But that's what makes the product unique too, right? So we just kind of go with that. We enjoy what we do, so it's you're really not buying any new clothes. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, and it's never the same. Every day it's kind of a whole new
It's
product.
never the same. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's really great. So apart from this, I think you also do a lot of upskilling, counseling, mentoring, and training with the women in the communities that you work with. So can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about, a little bit about that process?
So when People Kraft started, we actually started within the rural communities of India. We didn't start in cities like Bangalore like we are today. So our training, it was a very sort of hands-on approach where we would go in right into the communities and we would find out what they're already good at doing. So it may not even be sewing, it may be agriculture, or maybe they're good with woodwork or basket weaving, or you know what I mean? Like different places that are already skilled in a certain craft. So we would go in there and kind of um, fine tune what they already know so that it's not a completely new learning process and they're not out of their comfort zone, but scale it up to a level where you can actually make products and sell it to the bigger markets, to the markets here in the city. So that's what we were doing initially. So that has kind of been I would say that still continues through our charity, Provision India. So the training still continues. We still have teams that go out there and live and stay with the communities for a couple of days. And we use what is called appropriate technology. So we kind of go there, live with them, devise, design ideas, that they can use to implement to their existing crafts and stuff. So it's really been a process that way. And training and teaching sustainability has been the backbone of our organization from the very beginning. People Craft has just been an added, what shall I say, like a business wing, so to speak, just to support the charity. So it's always been about the people for us, from the beginning. That has never changed. um, so it's really about just being there and kind of, so it's all very grassroots level, so
Yeah.
there's yeah, it's just different from community to community, so that changes. But yeah, that's what we've been doing, and People Craft is really a proof of concept of that, and that's what, we look at it that way.
That's really beautiful. And I love that you keep people at the very center of design and everything that you do. Another thing
But
that
yeah, right, without them it wouldn't be possible to do what we do, so it's really
really,
just that.
another thing that really struck me was that you're really inculcating a sense of pride, a sense of independence with all of these women that you're working with.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
at the same time, you're empowering them with a bunch of business skills. So can
Right.
you tell us a little bit about your business model and how that fits within their own perhaps business models?
So, like I said, our work model, our business model is already work from home. So, because we started with that and we continue that, we have been heavily reliant on technology, honestly speaking. So, these women that work with us, they come from backgrounds where they haven't really been trained completely. I mean, they haven't been able to finish their education, or they've missed out on a lot of opportunities. So they are young, enterprising women who are so eager and willing to learn. So what we do is just use technology to the best of our ability to make sure that they learn, and we kind of move forward. So it's like, for example, like on a regular day, pre-COVID, post-COVID, either way, um, they whatever they're working on, they actually kind of send me pictures. They finished the work that they've done for the day, and then they send it to me. And then we get on a call. We have staff meetings, and everything is done through these different apps. Our women now know how to use Hangouts, and Meet, and Zoom, and Pinterest, and you know what I mean. So
Really
it's
impressive.
been fantastic. Yeah, like I regularly send them emails now that we're all at home, and we basically started classes with them, online classes on design and just other things in general, and I send them homework through email, and it's been really great. So it's really been a good learning curve for them as well. They've learned a whole bunch of stuff that they would not have otherwise had the chance to learn. So I'm very glad. Why should we be the only ones using all of this? It's for everyone. So
Absolutely. I think that's really beautiful. I think, I'm not sure if this is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, with every woman you work with, you start them off with a sewing kit and a sewing machine.
yeah,
And then that's maybe the physical infrastructure, but the soft skills that go along with it is,
yeah.
how to leverage technology to share what they're working on, share progress, collaborate. That's really, really beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. It's a process, but it's fun because we learn a lot in the process as well. Really, you go in thinking that you're going to probably teach them something, but you end up learning a lot, a lot. So there's so much that the women have taught us over the years. It's been really fantastic.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of products the women make?
So right now I mean, last couple of years, 3 years or so, they've been working with just textiles. So we make a lot of accessories like bags and purses and a lot of home linen cushions and bed covers and stuff like that. And so we also incorporate a lot of skills like hand block printing and tie and dye and shibori and things like that, just so that it's more hands-on and you can learn another skill in the process of production and you're not just sitting at the machine and stitching something. So we make a lot of our fabric as well, and we buy the scraps, like I said earlier. So we be mostly into accessories for the moment. We make a lot of scarves, and yeah, so it's been that so far. A lot of bags. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, what are People Craft's dreams and visions? Where do you see yourself maybe 5 years from now?
Our idea and our biggest dream really has been to have uh, built like a community or like a space really where women can feel free and happy to work. So it's because of the kind of group that we work with. We've been exposed to a lot of really traumatic stories and just stuff like that. So our dream really is to create that space for the women where they can work safely and they can enjoy and just love their work and really feel independent and feel like they are the creators of their products. You know, because even from the time People Craft started in the beginning up till now, a lot of our ex staff are now organization heads and designer heads of other similar brands. So it's really been an upward growth for them. So that's really been our dream so far. You know, it's like a constant what shall I say, like a move forward, It's really about giving. So that'll always be the dream. It's always about giving back.
That's a really great mission. Thank you so much for sharing. Another question that I have is, you
Oh,
know, is one piece of advice that you will give to anyone who's aspiring to be in the sustainability or circularity space, whether it's through entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. What is that one piece of advice you'd like to give them?
Um, just I mean, this is really from a very personal angle. I would say just start, use whatever you have and just start. I actually came across this quote by Teddy Roosevelt a couple of years ago. It's on a magnet on my fridge, And I look at it every day. It goes like this. It goes like, do what you can where you are with what you have. So it's really just that. I think most of us we struggle with getting it perfect the right first time round, and so we really find it hard to just begin. We may have all kinds of dreams, but we just don't know how to start. My advice would just be just start small, just do it, and don't ride the wave for the sake of being in that current sustainability market space or whichever industry it is that you are in. um, just begin. For me, that's really worked. So that's all I can really say,
That's
Yeah.
really great advice. Just start small, start wherever
Just
you are.
start small. Yeah, start with whatever you have because you have no idea where you can reach with that. And really like moving from for us, it's always been moving from a like a what shall I say, buy, make, waste model to a curate, make and save. You know what I mean? So really pick and choose and just start. If you have your vision, just begin. That's it. It's actually a lot easier than you think, you know, just to start. I mean, you would know that, Sahel. You started. Right? You just started and
Yeah,
here
I mean,
you are.
it's been interesting to hear where everyone's at and what gets them to start and what are their motivating kind of
Yeah,
factors and their
yeah,
design process.
yeah.
That thank you so much for sharing People Craft's
Yeah.
journey, your journey, and everything you think about sustainability. It's been really fun talking to you. Thank you so much for taking
It's
time.
fun talking to you, Sahel. Thank you so much for having me.